During this series of small businesses celebrating Hallmark anniversaries, we met up with another one of those entrepreneurs in our community, not only celebrating that half-decade mark, but reporting continued growth as they serve some very specialized needs in our community. Kirby Gilliam tells us about the growth being realized by Plainsong Music in Anderson.
We've gone from, in 2016, seeing 20 people a week and having one therapist, to now we have 7 music therapists. We have over 400 people a week that we see, and we are also in multiple nursing homes in town, in the school systems, Anderson Public School Systems. We are working with substance abuse treatment centers, memory care facilities, and it's fun to see what we've been able to bring to Anderson.
And we asked Kirby to remind us who we might find benefiting from Plainsong's various services.
Music therapy is a very individualized service. We provide music psychotherapy, which would be very similar to your talk therapist or your mental health therapist, but we're using music as the tool to address the psyche. We also are using behavioral music therapy that is called neurologic music therapy, and that's used for individuals that may have suffered a stroke, may have had dementia, and they need some of those synapses rewired in their brain, and music is able to help that.
Now, we scheduled our visit with Kirby after learning that Plainsong has plans to install a sensory room at their new facility on Jackson Street in Anderson. And many will benefit in many ways from such an idea. But we wanted to know, really, what is a sensory room?
Many of the people that we work with are intellectually or developmentally disabled, and a sensory room, it's a room that houses equipment to address sensory needs. So autism falls under that. A lot of times people with autism cannot regulate their sensory input, and an idea of a sensory room is to allow an individual to go into the room and to adjust the sensory to be exactly what they need to feel at peace with themselves, to be able to regulate their emotions, to be able to feel relaxed and calm, or maybe to up the sensory. Maybe you're somebody that you feel apathetic about life, or you feel that you just don't feel. And so going into a sensory room, we can increase the sensory to address those emotional and supportive needs.
And we were intrigued at the answer to the question, what would we see as we walk into a sensory room?
A wall that is going to be painted to look like a forest scene. And on the wall will be different animals, will be different backgrounds, and it will be totally interactive. As far as other equipment is concerned, we have an instrument called a wallophone. And if you go to our Facebook page or our website, which is plainsongmusicservices.com, you'll see pictures of our wallophone. And it's a xylophone that goes on the wall, and you play it with ping pong paddles. You can play songs on it. And there's going to be a swing in there, and the swing is for the vestibular system and to really help calm the inside of who you are and to bring that anxiety and your vitals down. The swing that we're going to put in there will be adaptive. If you are in a wheelchair or you have a walker or something like that, or we need to put a chair on it, it will be safe for any individual that needs that adaptation to use as well. Everything we have is 100% inclusive for every need that we may see. Lastly, there's going to be different lights. You can walk in the room and you can say, I would feel better if this was a blue room today, and we can make the whole room blue, or red if we need to increase sensory, because we know that colors increases our energy. Bubble machines, I mean, you name it, there's going to be some sensory stuff, really cool sensory stuff in there.
Now, while this music therapy practice is maintaining itself through self-pays and reimbursements, they are welcoming help from the community. And we asked Mrs. Gilliam to help us as a community realize the importance of helping Plainsong in attaining this specialized environment.
People with intellectual and developmental disabilities are just as much community members as neurotypical individuals. Yet sometimes it's very difficult for our special needs community to express their needs and wants. So part of it is to advocate for our special needs community and to say, as community members that are neurotypical, to say, hey, I see you, you're here, I want to do something that will help you to be involved in our community as well. I also think it's really important that community members support small business. And in our sense, I mentioned that we are primarily a Medicaid waiver provider. And if anybody knows about Medicaid waiver, the reimbursement for music therapy is not very high. So while we operate as a for profit company, we also operate more as a non for profit when it comes to reimbursement. So, in order to have capital to do a big project like this to help our community, we have to seek other sources than just reimbursement because our reimbursement is capped at what the state will offer.
And so we asked Kirby how those of us who want to step up and help can do so.
You can go to our website, plainsongmusicservices.com. You can also go to Facebook, Plain Song Music Services. We also have an Instagram, it's Plain Song Music Service. And our link to our online funding campaign is found on all of those formats. It's an Indiegogo source that we're using, and if you want to, you can donate to that. If you have sensory items that you want to part with, poppers, fidgets, things like that, we'd be happy to take those donations as well. Lighting equipment, water equipment, anything like that that would provoke sensory input. If you don't want to give a monetary donation, you can donate the actual item. And if donation is something that is out of your reach right now, just advocating for our special needs community and liking our Facebook page and seeing what the special needs community does in Anderson, because it's a very prominent community that is doing a lot of really cool things, especially in the music therapy world. And we'd love to have as many community advocates as possible.
Kirby Gilliam, congratulations on Plain Song Music's growth, and thank you for what you and your staff do for our community. Support the small businesses like Plain Song Music in your community. Your community's future is depending on it. You can always hear this and past editions of The Buzz of Madison County on the Buzz of Madison County Facebook page and YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. That's the latest buzz of Madison County.